Okay, hello everyone. I'm Dave, and I'm going to do a short talk about the package ftw.upgrade, which is a package which we have been developing for teamwork. And it really simplifies writing and running generic setup Plone upgrade steps for us. So my hope of this talk is that I can maybe spread the word and tell you a bit about it, and maybe you can also start using it. Which leads me to my first question: who is already using it? Who does know about it? Yeah, my coworkers. Okay. So maybe the rest of you will learn something, and maybe you will also start. So first, I'm going to do a little bit of a teaser. I'm going to show you how we simplify registration of upgrades, and then I'm going to do a short live demo which will show you how to list and run upgrades, and then I'm going to go into the details a bit more. So the first thing I would like to show you is this. So every one of you that writes upgrades will know it. It's a bit complex. There's a lot of repetition in it. And with that repetition, there's a lot of error potential. You have to repeat the destination ID a lot. Maybe you have a naming convention which always includes your source ID and your destination ID. Then maybe you will repeat the title a lot, and so on. And we have replaced this with a simple upgrade step directive, which will then auto-discover the rest for you if you set it up correctly. So you have just this simple setCML, and the rest is discovered and registered for you when the Plone instance starts from the file system. And also we got rid of the separate version ID that you will have to also update in your metadata XML in your generic setup profile. And yeah, of course, this works also for 2 upgrades and so on. It's just one directive, and everything is auto-discovered for you. Now I'm going to try to switch to the command line to show you how to list and run upgrades via a console script we have provided. So I'm using a tool with pre-scripted commands. That's why I can type so fast. So I'm going to start my Plone instance. Then I'm going to use the bin upgrade command, which is installed when you use ftw upgrade. And I'm going to list all the upgrades. I'm going to tell it to pick the first Plone site because there's only one. And I'm going to tell it to list the upgrades for me. So as you can see, our current Plone site has 2 upgrades. One is change the site configuration, and one is another upgrade step which I will run later. So I'm going to show you how you can use the install command to install one single upgrade. I'm going to type bin upgrade again. I'm going to use the install command. I'm going to tell it to pick the first Plone site, and then I'm going to give it the upgrade ID, which is an ID which we generate and use to address single profiles. So I'm going to execute that command, and it will do some logging, and it will tell me, well, the installation has been successful, and the upgrade has been run for me. I will go into more details later, and I will show you how you can register upgrades, and I will show you how you can run and create any upgrades. So I'm going to switch back. Yeah. But first, let's take a step back. In the following sections of my talk, I'm going to first talk a bit more about why we actually write upgrades and how we upgrade it for teamwork. I'm going to show you how you can list and run upgrades in the browser. Also, I'm going to show you the upgrade directory. I'm going to show you a bit more about the console script, and then I'm going to talk a bit about upgrade step helpers, which we provide. So why do we actually write upgrades, and how do we upgrade that for teamwork? First, let me mention we have like a lot of deployments, and we have a lot of deployments of the exact same package, and we really need to be able to know what state each deployment is in, and we need to kind of always guarantee that many deployments are in the same state, and that's why we rely heavily on like scripting and not doing stuff through the web, because we need to guarantee and we need to know that one deployment is in the correct state. So we want to alter content and configuration consistently over many deployments. We want to guarantee that the same upgrade path is taken for all deployments. We want to prevent undocumented changes that happen through the web. So if you allow people to edit your Plone site through the web 1 year later, you will not know anymore what happened or what is going on. And if you rely on upgrades only, you can always guarantee that the state of the deployment is actually documented in your policy or in code. So the keyword is we want to prevent configuration drift. So you could have drift between your code and the deployment, what's actually installed there, and you could have drift between multiple deployments. And we want to eliminate that possibility, and we always want to have like the current state documented in code and in the policy. Then it helps us to apply a minimal set of changes. I know for like smaller sites, people sometimes just re-import the whole generic setup profile and hope for the best. But if you have many upgrades that you need to run at once, it really helps to see each single change in an upgrade. And of course, it helps with automation. If you can automate your upgrades, you will spend less time upgrading your Plone sites manually. So let me quickly talk about how ftw.upgrade actually lists and runs upgrades. First, it is able to list and propose necessary upgrades for multiple packages at once. It's really useful. I will give a quick demo in the browser of this later. It will basically first collect all the upgrades that are necessary for your Plone site. It will then topologically sort them based on that package's dependencies. So it will guarantee that dependencies of your package are installed before you actually install your upgrades. And you can run it in the browser, which I will show you now, and you can also run it via a console script, which is provided by the package, which I've already given you a teaser of. So let's quickly switch to the browser and show you the upgrade view that is provided. Okay. So maybe one quick word about my setup. I have created a simple Plone site. I have created a simple policy with one single content type, nothing else, and I've already run one upgrade which creates like 1,000 or so instances of that content type in my Plone site. So here you can see my current Plone instance. Usually you would install upgrades via the add-ons section. You can see the upgrade which I have not run yet, which is listed here, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, ftw.upgrade also provides you an upgrades entry in the Plone configuration, which looks like this. You can see it also lists, just like the portal setup, it also lists upgrades which have already been run by Plone. So just for the sake of the demonstration, I'm going rerun the upgrade which I have installed on the command line before. And you can see, and I've zoomed in a bit, so it's not it's not so readable, but it basically outputs the same thing as in the command line. You can see some progress, you can see that it installed the upgrade, and it will actually stream what it's doing when you have longer running upgrades. Okay. Okay, so next is the upgrade directory. I've already shown you in the intro how you can register an upgrade directory. Now I'm going to quickly describe what it does. It basically is an entry point for auto-discovering all of your upgrade steps. So you can create new upgrades automatically in that upgrade directory. Every upgrade is assigned a timestamp for you, which is used as the upgrade ID. You don't have to increase the version number automatically. So this is inspired by other frameworks, like Rails, for example, which uses a similar approach. Then each of those directories that can be generated it will contain Python code for your upgrade step handler, and it is also a generic setup profile itself. So you can put Python code for your upgrades in there, and you can also put XML changes which are then automatically imported for you, which really helps you, as I've already shown you, reduce the repetition that is needed to create new upgrades. And it really helps you to reduce conflicts and merge conflicts when you are developing with multiple people on the same project. So imagine two developers create an upgrade at the same time. If you have Plone, you will have a lot of conflicts because they will both assign the same next version ID. If you use the bin upgrade script, it will create a timestamp-based ID, and it is very unlikely that both of those developers will create the upgrade at the exact same time, so that ID will be different and you won't have any merge conflicts. You also don't need to update the version ID in metadata XML, which is something that people usually or often forget. Yeah, so let me make, one more thing. There's a console script to also create the upgrades, which I have not shown you yet. It will also allow you to reorder the upgrade steps if you need to do so for some reason, and you can use it on one Plone site, you can use it on all Plone sites if you want. It's really flexible, it's got a great help system, so in case you start using it, I would recommend to check that out. Running upgrade also provides you with progress logging. So there's helper methods that you can use to actually log progress while you're iterating over Plone objects if you have to migrate them. That's really helpful if your upgrades are long running, if you have larger sites with a lot of content, which we do. Our upgrades sometimes take a whole night, like a really long time, many content objects. And it also logs progress of Plone indexing or collective indexing if you're still in older Plone versions. So I'm just going to give you a quick example of how that works, maybe to clarify a bit more. So I'm going to switch back to the command line, and I'm going to create an upgrade via the command line. I'm going to use the bin upgrade create command. I'm going to title my upgrade demo upgrade step, and I'm going to tell it the path to my upgrade directory. And it has created something on the file system for me, so let's have a quick look at it. Well, maybe first let me show you an example of upgrades on the file system which I've already created. This is my editor. You can see, oh, you can see the upgrade step registration in here. No, where is it? Here. That's the upgrade step directory. And in my upgrade step directory here on the left side, you can see 4 upgrade steps which I have registered and created. The first one, I have already run it. It basically installed my Plone content type, a talk content type which I've stolen from the Plone training. You can see this is the upgrade step directory. It contains a Python module upgrade py, which contains the Python code. So in that case, I've just applied the corresponding upgrade profile. I have installed types XML, which has registered my talk type and installed it. And then I have used Plone API to create 1001 instances of that portal type. And I'm going to use them later for a quick demo of logging. So below you can also see my demo upgrade step, which I've just created, which is basically empty. It will just apply an empty profile. I'm not going to fill it out. There's not enough time for that. But instead, I'm just going to quickly restart the instance to reload the upgrade step I've just created. Then I'm going to list the upgrades again. So you can see the set talk title upgrade, which was there before, is still here. And now we have also added our demo upgrade step, which I've just created. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to tell bin ftw.upgrade to just install all the proposed upgrades. So usually it will figure out which upgrades needs to be installed, and you can mostly tell it to just install all of it, and you are set, all your upgrades are run. So we're going to do that. It's going to do a bit more. It's going to do something with the 1000 content type instances that we have. It's going to change the title of them, and it's also going to run the empty upgrade. It would log progress for more content. I think it logs every 5 seconds or so by default. And now you can see what it actually does is, is log the indexing queue. It's reindexing stuff in the portal catalog, which sometimes can take a lot of time, and usually run at the end of your transaction. And it's really reassuring for us, for larger Plone sites, to see some progress in that cases. Otherwise, you would just see an empty console for 2 hours and actually hope that your upgrades are being run and that everything can be committed successfully. Okay. Great. Now let me mention some helper methods that we provide. They are available on the upgrade step base class, which is also automatically put there as a scaffold in your upgrade py module when you use bin ftw upgrade to create new upgrade steps. There's really useful stuff for class migration, especially in-place migration, which basically replaces an object in the tree itself, and it does not create new siblings or new instances of your new class, so it does not fire all the Plone events, which is a real performance benefit when you have to replace the class of a content type. If someone in here still needs to do a migration from archetypes to dexterity in the next 2 months, that may prove really useful for you. Then we have helpers to rebuild and add and remove catalog indices. We have helpers to update the object security of a single object, to update workflow security for all objects with a certain workflow. We have a workflow chain updater in case you need to replace the workflow of an object, and you can provide it the state mapping, so it will automatically update the states of the new workflow for your objects. Also, I think also in the workflow history, if you need to do so, then you can add or remove actions or type actions if you still use it, and you can remove broken browser layer and other browser layers, excuse me, and other stuff that's broken. There's much more. I think we don't really have a lot of time anymore. There are like deferrable upgrade steps with which you can tag certain upgrades as deferrable. So tell ftw.upgrade to maybe execute them later because they're not needed now, and you can separately rerun them at a later time. That's only possible because it tracks the upgrades that you execute. So it will track every single upgrade, and if you omit one upgrade, you can do so, and that it will propose that upgrade later again to you. There's like good documentation. Everything is on GitHub. Also, my presentation material, the example I gave you, is on GitHub. You can find it via that link. Maybe if I was moving too fast, you can have a look when it's a bit calmer. And there's also an introduction on how to get started with the package if you're interested in it. Yes, I think that's all I wanted to tell you. So if you maybe have any questions, I would be happy to answer them.
Any question? Okay.
It works with Python 3?
With, sorry?
With Python 3.
We are at the moment, unfortunately, we are working on getting it running on Plone 5.2. We are not yet there, but Thomas there is working on it, and he said it's almost done. So it should be ready soon. Yes, with Python, with Plone 5.2, and then also Python 3. Right now, Plone 5.1 and Plone 4.3.
So you have like described the happy path, so everything goes right.
Yeah.
So what happens when something goes wrong, like some data was not like you have expected, or there were some conflict errors and such?
So all the upgrades, they are run within one transaction. It's basically one request. At the moment, the console command, I did not have enough time to show you all the details, but the console command will use a JSON API in the background, which will basically fire a request to the running Plone instance. So if something fails, that request won't be successful and everything will be aborted. So the transaction will be aborted, nothing will be committed, and you will have the same state that you had when you started running the upgrades. Yeah. We have been thinking about maybe adding an intermediate commit option, which would allow you to tell it to like maybe commit after every upgrade that is run successfully. But that's not available yet. I'm not sure if that would be helpful to you, but we sometimes have, as I already mentioned, the situation of like huge upgrades where we have a limited time window to actually run all of them. So it would be reassuring to know that when it crashes, you at least have the state where it was when it like finished the last successful upgrade. But not yet available.
Any other question? Okay, so thanks, David, for the talk.
Okay, thank you.